So these most there are 23 questions. So really these questions only asked in all recent interviews in JavaScript. For example, if you go into interview for the Angular or React, they definitely ask us some Java questions. Then only they will move to the Angular questions or React questions. First, definitely they will check you have the knowledge of the JavaScript or not. So definitely they will ask these questions. Okay, this is the two JavaScript questions, most recent asked questions. Let me explain one by one. Okay, first thing, what are the data types in JavaScript? What are the data types in JavaScript? I clearly explained. The data types in JavaScript two types: primitive and non-primitive. Primitive are string, number, boolean, null, undefined. Non-primitive data types are object.
Okay.
Object array is also object, and there is another called symbol. We cannot use symbol data type, but sometimes we use. But most probably we cannot use the symbol data type. Okay, mostly they will ask. So the data types in JavaScript are two types: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are string, number, boolean. String, number, boolean, null, undefined. Non-primitive are object and symbol. Primitive data types are, so if anyone asks the questions, you need to give the at least 1 minute explanation. You don't tell definitely. You don't give the only definition. Okay. You need to, if anyone asks the question, you need to give the answer at least 1 minute answer. For example, what are the data types in JavaScript? You don't tell only one answer. You tell clearly. So, for example, they will ask what are the data types in JavaScript. In JavaScript, there are two types of data types in JavaScript. Those are primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are string, number, boolean, null, undefined. String primitive data types are immutable. That means we cannot change the value. Let me explain the example. Okay, where x equal to 2, x equal to this is the string. We cannot change the value. We can replace the value. So we cannot, if we agree, we can send the value is just replace the existing value, but we cannot add the value. We cannot add any new value. That means we cannot alter the value. We just replace the value. That's why primitive data types are the immutable. We cannot change the value. So here x equal double quotes. So this is the string data type. For example, if x equal to number only 2, this is the number data type. If x equal to true, this is the boolean data type. If x equal to if x equal to null, that is the null data type. That type of null data type. If I declare the variable, there is not assign any value, then the type of y, then y is the undefined. So to know the data type of, we have the function called type of function. So using type of function, we can tell what is the data type of that variable. Okay, here it is a string, here it is a number, it is the true, it is the boolean, it is a null, and here it is undefined. These are the primitive data types. What are the non-primitive data types? Non-primitive data types are the data types which have the more than one value. For example, array let equal to array 3, 5, 7, 8. Here array contains the more than one value, not the single value. But primitive data types always have the only single value. But non-primitive data types, it has a more than one value. Non-primitive data types are mutable. That means we can change the value. That means we can add the new value instead of the replacing the total value. We can add the new value. For example, either push. So now A becomes 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Like this. So we add the new value for the existing value. That means we change the value. So non-primitive data types are the data types which has the more than one value, and these are the mutable. For example, array contains the more than one value. Okay, now so these are the complete understanding about the data types. Okay, this is the first question. So if anyone asks what are the data types, what are the data types in JavaScript, you need to answer. You need to answer the data types in JavaScript. The two types: primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Okay. Primitive data types are the data types which have the only one value. For example, string, number, boolean, null. These are the primitive data types. These primitive data types are immutable. Non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types are the data types which have the more than one value. Example, array, object. These are the more. So these data types have the more than one value. Non-primitive data types are mutable. That means non-primitive data types are mutable. That means we can change, we can alter the value. So in this way, we need to give the answer, we need to give the example. Then only they will satisfy. This is the first question. What are the data types in the JavaScript? Next question. What is the difference between the null and undefined? So let's see. Where if we declare the variable, we are not assigning any value to this variable. Then see the what is the type of, what is the y value, what is the type of y, what is the type of y value. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me run this one. Let me go to console here. So type value of y is undefined, type of the y is equal undefined, right? So if we declare the value, but we don't assign any value, then the type of that variable is undefined. Now, what is the null? Now we have the value x, and we assign the value for the x is equal null. Null means there is nothing. That means the value is there, but there is no value is there. Then we assign the value null. We assign the value null. So if we print the null, what is the value of x here? Null. But the interesting thing is, what is the type of null? So what is the type of x here? Let's see. Object. Don't confuse. Okay. Type of null is object. There is one other question, I think. What is the type of null? The type of null is object. Here I set the value null to the x. The type of x here object. Okay. But the value itself is null. The value is null, but the type of null is object. So if anyone asks the question, what is the difference between the undefined and null? The undefined is if we declare the variable, we are not assigning any value, then the type of that variable is undefined. Null is we are declare the variable, we assign the value null, then the data type is null. But the type of null is object. Don't confuse. JavaScript says the type of null is object. Okay. So you need to give an answer in that way. So what is the difference between null and undefined? What is the type of null? Type of null is the undefined. You clearly understand. Okay. Explain the hosting in JavaScript. Okay. The hosting in the JavaScript is moving the declaration of all the variables and function to the top of the file. Declaration of the variables and function on top of the file. Why? Because JavaScript, the JavaScript we can assign the value before this declaration. That means where x equal to 2. Okay. We can declare the variable x. So we can assign a variable before this declaration. At the same time, we have the function definition like test. Okay, we can call this function before its differentiation. Not we can call this function before its different. We can call this function before its differentiation. See, so we can assign a value to a variable before its declaration. At the same time, we can call a function before its definition. So that means JavaScript cannot think where the function defines, where the function defines, where the variable declares. So that's when we can move all the variables declaration, all the function definition at the top of file. So that means Java hosting is the concept moving the declarations of the variables and function definition top of the file, because the JavaScript cannot check where the functions and variables are declared. We can declare we can set a value to a variable before its declaration. You can call a function before its definition also. Okay. For example, so this is the concept of the hosting. Okay. So we can declare the variable. To stop the hosting, I don't need the hosting concept. I must follow the rules. I want to variable definition first. Later, I want to assign the value. I want to stop the hosting. Then you put the use strict at the use strict at the top of the file. I think there's something. There's something strict is there. The use strict rule at top of the file. Then the hosting concept is the stop, because we are following the rules. So we need to define the use strict in the JavaScript. Then it will stop the. Let's see how we define it here. Let's see. Okay. So here I write about use strict. Okay. Now tell what happened. It's calling. But when you rule the use strict, it will use the error. But for example, here use the error. But if you not the use strict here, it will execute. That means actually JavaScript thinks if we can assign a value to a variable anywhere before its declaration. But if we use the use strict, then it stops the hosting. Okay. So that is the answer we need to give. So what is actually the hosting JavaScript? The answer is hosting is allowing the declaration of the variables function definition at the top of the file. Because in JavaScript we can assign a value to a variable before its declaration. You can call a function before its function definition. This behavior is called the hosting in JavaScript. To stop the hosting in JavaScript, we need to use strict in the top of the file. That is the answer we need to give. Next, difference between the I will add one more thing here. Difference between the equal to, double equal to, and triple equal to operators. I already told in the previous call. Let me tell again. So where x equal to means here we assign the value to the x. Okay, so the equal to means assigning a value to a variable. If x equals, we are using the double equal to triple equal to in the conditional statements. If x equal to means here in x equal to means it check the value in both. It check the only value in both types. Then it is the true. But if you use the triple equal to, you check the value at the same time data type. You check the value at the same time data type. Then it is the triple equal to. So the difference between the equal to is the assigning the value to a variable. Double equal to check the only value of both sides. Triple equal to check the value at the same time type of that variable also is checking. This is the difference between the equal to, double equal to, triple equal to. So if you use the else here, it will go to. So if you see in this case, x is equal to string, here x is equal to. So here number data type is different, but value is same, but data type is different. We use triple equal to here. That's why it goes to the false case. Otherwise, if you use the double equal to, you check the whole value. It is not considered in the data type. Then it goes to true. So this is the difference between the equal to, double equal to, and triple equal to. Okay. Now, what is the nan? Nan is called not a number. Nan means nan, not a number. So when will it will output? Sometimes if we do some arithmetical operators between the string and numbers, then it will be the nan. For example, where x equal to hello by 3. So there is no meaning. There is no meaning. We are dividing the string with a number. There is no meaning. Then x value is the nan. That means not a number. X value is a nan, not a number. So if we do some arithmetic operators like string divided by number, then it will give the value nan. Nan means not a number. Okay, that's this question. Done. What is the immediately invoked function? Immediately invoked function means, for example, we have a function. We have a function. Okay. Okay. This function is not called. We just define the function. It is not immediately invoked. When only we can call this function, then when only we can call this function, then only it will invoke. This is a normal behavior. But in case of IIFT means immediately invoked function expression. Immediately invoked function expression means like this function okay. So here we did the function definition. If you run this one, it immediately calling. So function definition and immediately this calling. This is called the immediately invoked function expression. Okay. Next, explain the higher order function in JavaScript. Okay. For example, I have a function A. I pass the variable x to this one. Okay, I have a function A. I have a function B. Something like 3. So if I pass a if any function like I take the function, it will take if any function, it will take the arguments of other arguments and the function called function handlers. Like I pass the a comma b. Okay, I pass the a comma b. So here C is now if you call the C function, let's see what happens. A is not a function. So here we need to pass the example. You can, let's see here x comma y. Let's see. Nothing will happen. Console.log. So we need to pass the for a console.log. Okay, let's see. So don't confuse. We have a function C. This function taking the arguments as the function. So C function taking arguments as the function handlers. So here we pass for the C function, we pass the arguments A function handler, B function handler. Then C is the higher order function. Okay, then C is the higher order function. What is the higher order function? The function which takes function handlers as an argument, those functions are called a higher order function. The function which takes other function handlers as an arguments, that function is called the higher order function. Here C function taking the a comma b function handlers as an arguments to the C function. Then C function is called the higher order function. So you need to give the definition and you need to give an example to them. Please mute any notes. Any notes are there? So higher order function, a function which takes function handlers as an argument, is called the higher order function. Okay. Now this keyword. What is this keyword? Okay. Let's see. I have a function, normal function. I use this here. Okay. Now control not log this. What is output? No, sorry, control log of A. Now I call the A function. Okay. So here in a function, if you use this means the total window. The total window is you take the window object. There is a window object, the total window object. So what I am in the abstract saying that this total window here in a normal function, this refers to the complete window object. Okay. For example, I have another object like so I have a user object. I have a user actor. I have the one property name Ravi. One method called get name. Okay, let's see. Control dot log. Let's control dot log. Ravi. So this is referring to the current object. So here here in the object, if you use this in the object, if we hear this means the current object reference. Select the current object reference. Okay. But in a normal function, this refers to window object, the context. That's why the arrow functions are introduced. I will explain the arrow functions. So if you use this means the current reference. Okay. If you use this in an object, it means this here this means the current object only. If you use this in a normal function, it takes the window object reference. Okay. This is the explain this in the keyword. So you need to explain this in the normal function and this in the object. Here object means the current. Here this means the current objects only. Okay, here this means the window. Okay. So this is the question. Till now, any doubts? People have any doubts? Is it fine? Any doubts? No one is responding.
No, sir.
Yeah. So this is up to okay. Let's go to the other interview question. Explain the call, apply, and let's go to the other interview questions. Like explain the call, apply, and bind methods. This is the every interview they will ask. Okay. Let's see. I have one user object. I have two user objects. Okay. I have the here two user objects. Okay. Okay, I have a function. I have a function like so it will print. It will take the two arguments. Two arguments s comma y. Okay, this function will print x plus this dot name plus y. Now let's see. Now I have a function. I want to apply this function to an object. I want to call a function to an object, but it can use the call function. So I want to apply ts. I want to apply ts function. I want to call ts function for the object user one. This is the calling here. This here ts means calling a function to an object. For this we need to pass the arguments of the function as comma separated. Like we pass like hello comma welcome. So here it means we pass the ts function. We call ts function on the object user one, and I am passing the arguments to the function as comma separated. So here x refers to hello, y refers to welcome. This dot name refers to the user's name. The object user one name. So then output is hello Ravi, welcome. Let's see. See, hello Ravi, welcome. Same way we can apply the other object also like this. We can apply the other object like this. Then the answer is hello Gopal, welcome. Hello Gopal, welcome. So what is the call? Call is a method to call a function an object with comma separated arguments. Okay. Now apply is also same. Apply also same, but the main difference between the call and apply. We pass the function arguments as an array in the apply method. But in call method we pass the arguments as comma separated. Okay. So apply is a method to apply a function on an object with array of arguments. So what the difference between call and apply is the call method we are passing the arguments as comma separated. The apply method we are passing the arguments with the array of arguments. Okay. We have the bind function. Bind is also same, but it will not call the function. It will return the function. We can call the function whenever we want. So bind means we are binding a function on an object. We are binding a function on an object. It will return a function. We can call anywhere we can want. That means bind will return a function. Okay. We can call this function anywhere we want. Okay. But call and apply immediately it will apply it's calling the function. But bind it will just binding the function. We can call the function anywhere we can want. This is the difference between the call, apply, and bind. Yeah. Next question. What is currying in JavaScript? Currying means passing the n number of function arguments. So, I already told you that you can pass a function. You can pass a function argument to the other function, right? You know higher order function. I already tell higher order function. Now I will explain in the currying concept. Currying is a concept. You can pass multiple arguments instead of the function. You can pass multiple arguments instead of the function. Okay. For example, I have a function. Yeah. Okay. I am passing the s comma y. Okay. It will return. It will print x plus y. Okay. Right. So right here if we call this function, what will be the, if we call and passing the arguments to come, then what is output 5? This is the 5. Okay. Now let's see. It's now like this. Okay. Here we pass in the one argument 2. So if we pass the 2, it comes here. Again, I need to pass the second argument b, right? I am passing the 4 here. So there is some confusion, right? You are confusing. So up to this part, it will return the b, right? If we call the add of 2, it will return the b, right? If we call x of 4, then it will return the 6. Am I right? What is the output now? What is the output now? In the first line, what is the return value? What is the return value? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here, what is the
4.
what is the return value in the seventh line?
4.
No.
2, sir. 2. Add of 2 is 2.
I am asking what is the return. Okay. Now tell me what is the value of x? What is the value of x here? Anybody tell? What is the value of x here?
Undefined.
Anyone tell? Just a minute.
In progress.
Just a minute. Okay, now tell me what is the value of x here? Now I explain what is the currying in JavaScript. Okay, for that one I write a function add. This add function is in the other function b. Okay, now what is the value of x here? So what is the add 2 will return? What add function returning? Here what this add function returning?
Undefined, sir.
Let's see here return values. What is the returning? What is the add function returning here?
Function b object.
Yeah, add function returning the function handler, right? Then x is the
Yes,
x have the b function handler. Let's see, right?
Yes, sir.
So now it is not b function handler. If we so you have the function, this function returning the another function, right? Now x is the function hand x value x has the b function handler, right? If we call the b function, if you want to, if we call like this, then what is output?
6.
6, right? So first it is the add function, return the value, B function handler. For the B function, we are passing the value x, then the output is the 6. Right? So what we are doing is, here what we are doing, we return the function handler putting the other variable like this, right? Instead of this, we can call like this. Add 2, 4. Instead of this, we can write like this. That means up to this one, it's with the B function. For the B function, we are passing the 4. Let's see. There is another thing. Let's see now. Somebody has to mute. See, we have the add function, A function. Let's see. Let's take this example. We have a function A, it is within the B function. So, for example, where x equal to A, it will within the, it is now x have the B function handler. Okay, now x have the B function handler. Okay, let y equal to where y equal to x of 3. Now y has the C function handler, right? Y is C function handler. Now where z equal to y of 4. Now z has the D function handler. If you run the z function, so let's see. First see x it is the B function handler. Okay. Now x will return the C function handler. So y has C function handler. Now y is the z function handler. So the final function is z. Now we pass the, what is the output? 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. What is the output? 14. That's it. 14. So we can call it the multiple function. Instead of like this, we can do like this. A, first we pass the 2 value, it will return the B. For the B function, I am passing the 3 value. It will the C. For the C function, I am passing the 5. It will return the D. Right? For D function, I am passing the 1. In this way, you can pass. So what is the output? 11, right? So 2 plus, so you can understand for this one, it is in the B function. Up to it was a C function, up to it was a B function. In this way, we can pass the multiple number of function arguments to a function. This concept is called currying. Okay, this concept is called currying. Okay, we want to pass the multiple number of functions as an argument, we use the currying. Okay. So if you want, if anyone knows the currying concept, you just give this type of explanation. Okay, curry is a breakdown a function that takes the multiple arguments into series of functions. The currying is the series of function. If you see the single one, what you say, currying is series of n number of function calls. Okay, currying is a series of function calls. The series, okay. People understand currying concept? Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No.
So currying is series of function calls. Okay. In the single line, we are called the 4 function calls here. The series of function calls is called currying. Okay. Now, explain the scope and scope change JavaScript. Okay. In JavaScript, we have mainly 3 scopes. Where That's a function var x. Okay, let's take an example. Okay. So I have a variable x, this value 3. Okay, now I print the what is the value of x? 3. Okay. Now I calling the this function, this x value in the test function. So actually x is not in this function, but the output is 3 because we are not calling the function call here, right? Then output is 3, 3. So we define the variable x outside the function. This variable is available inside the function, outside the function also. Inside the function, outside the function. So this variable available throughout the file. This type of scope is called global scope. So we have the mainly 3 scopes are there. One is the global scope. Other one is the local scope. Other one is the local scope. Okay. Third one is the block scope. So these 3 scopes, what are the scopes in Java? We have global scope, local scope, block scope. The global scope will be available throughout the program. The local variable means if there is a function here, yes, I have a variable y, then I'm printing the y here. Okay. Now I'm printing the y here. Okay. Now I have a variable y that's inside the function and trying to call that y variable outside the function. So let's see. 10 comma y is not defined. So here in the function it has a scope, but outside the function it was not using, right? So the variable in the function is not used outside the variable. Then the scope of this variable is local scope. The scope of a variable in a function is called the local scope. The scope of a variable throughout the function, throughout the file program is called global scope. What is a block scope? Block scope means, for example, we have the net z equal to 10 control.log z. Okay. Control.log z. Let's see. So now I have the variable z in the local in the block. Let's see. See, you can call the variable in the block, but outside the block you can call. But when we use when we use the var, we can call a variable outside the block also. Outside the block also. So if you use the let, that variable scope only the block level scope. If you use the var, the variable scope is the outside the block. Outside the block. This is the called block scope. So we have the global scope, local scope, block scope. So what are the scope of scopes in JavaScript means? We have 3 scopes and we need to explain those. Okay. Next, explain the closure concept in JavaScript. Explain JavaScript. The closures means the inner function which have the scope of the which get the access for the outer function variables when it will call. For example, function A. It's a function. It has a variable x. There is another function B. Okay. So here we have 2 functions. A for this has variable x. Here the other function B. So now the scope of this y variable is only this level. This is called lexical scope. What is the lexical scope? The scope of the variable in the function is called lexical scope. So that function with that variable acts only in that function. Okay. So somebody asked what is the lexical scope? Lexical scope in JavaScript. That is not the answer. Variable defined outside the function can be accepted. Okay. Now I have a function b. I call it the x. So that means the inner function b has the access to the outer function. The inner function b has the outer function of variable x. This is called lexical scoping. Lexical scoping is a variable defined outside the function can be accessible inside the other function. Inside other function defined after the variable declaration inside the outer. So this is called lexical scope. The main function has the access for the outer function variable. This concept is called the lexical scope. Then what is the closure? When we call the a, okay, that's when we call the a, it is the b function. See 10. So do you think it's 20? Okay. I call it as x only. Then by x will 10. So when we calling the outer function, then only inner function get the access for the out scope variable. This is called the closure. The closure will call when the closure will give the access to the inner function to the outer function's variable when it is called. It's called the closure function. If anyone asks what is the scope of the closure function, you need to answer. For data privacy concept, we use the closure functions. Okay, these are the closures. Okay, now what is the object? How many ways we can create a JavaScript object? Okay, you know, object this is an object, right? So this is the object. This type of object is called literal object. So the first way to create the object is literal object. This is the one. So we can create the object in the literal format like this one. Otherwise, there is other way called using the constructor. Using the constructor. Okay. What is the constructor? So using the constructor, we create the object. Okay. Let me give you an example. For example, I have the function. I have a function user. Okay. We call that name, comma, score. Okay. So here is the name equal to name. This the score equal to score. Right? Now you created a new object based on the function. Based on using this function, we can create multiple objects. How? Like I have the pattern a where a equal to using the new keyword and using the new keyword. Now a is the object. Now here a is the object. So what is the output C?
Please, sir. Score.
See. So we create the object using the function constructor. This is called the function constructor. This is called the constructor in the. So using the constructor. Using the constructor, we can create the object. So we get the object like this. So this object is name as code 10. we can create the using the literal object. This is the one way. Otherwise, using the constructor. For the constructor, we need to create a function like this, and using the new keyword, we create the object. This is the second type. This is the first step. This is second type. So okay, this is the second type. There is other type called object.create. Using the object.create, we can create the object. Using the object.creator, we can create the object. Okay. Object.create, we using we can create the object. Let me give you an example. Okay. For example, I have a function. Okay. Say let's say I have a function like this. Let's see this function tells us. Okay. Okay. Now the function, let's take a variable. Okay. You know already this is the object. Okay, this is the object. Based on this object, we need to create other object. For that one, we use the object dot create. Use the person. Okay. I get the person one object. Okay. Now control.log of person one is object. Right? So person will get the empty object. Right? So using the object that create, we use the person object. Let's use where exactly. Okay, sure. Yeah. So okay. Now it creates the Now it creates the one object and it creates other empty object. But it has these values with the we created. Now this person one has these properties. Okay. For example, if we call it this person one dot name. Hello, Raj. Okay. Let's see. Now, after this one, if you call. You will confuse it, just comment on this one. See, so we can create an object based on this reference. We can create the object based on this reference. Okay. So based on one object, we can create the new object using the object that create. So if anyone knows how many ways we create a JavaScript object, we can create it using the literal object way. Example, this one. We can create the using the constructor way. Example, we create a function this way, and using the new keyword, we can create the object. Third topic, using the object that create method, we can create a new object. So the three ways we can create the object. So this is the question they will ask. Okay. So what are the object of the prototype? What are the object of the prototype means the name we so here the prototype here name right name is the properties of the object right. So using the prototype means we can using the prototype we can create the new values. Let me explain to you. Okay. For example, how can I tell you? Let's take this example. Okay, I'm printing the person here. Okay. So now I create now I create the new object. Person 2. Based on the person, I create a new object. Okay. Now like this, go to here, go to above. Okay. So I got either person is Raj. Okay. Let's take the other example. So either name, sorry, either name. Let's take the B value. Now B the name is Raj 2. So now here, okay. Let's see if we are not passing the arguments here. Okay, we are not passing the arguments here. We directly we are giving the value here. Okay, right? Then we don't need to pass the any values here, right? Up to you have there is no those side. We have the user object. You create the two new objects A comma B, which change the our values, right? Right. But see what happened. Sorry. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating the new property like A dot is equal 30. Now console dot log of A dot is. Let's see. Here also I create a new property. Don't confuse, I'll explain clearly to you. Okay. So here what do we have? We have let's see. We have an object user A. Is have the properties only name comma score, right? Name comma score. But use of the user object, I create a new variable. Yeah. Now for that I am creating the new property. Okay. For example, do this one. I'm creating the new property age, but age is not in the user property, right? User object, right? Okay. Let's see what happened. 30, right? Age is not in the user object, but it gives the age is 30. Why? Age property is not there, right? If you understand. Hello. Hello.
Sir.
Yes.
So here we are in the new property. New property it was taking, right? Now taking the other object. Now let's see. I give the age here. I give the other object. I give the age here. What is output? 50. If you are not assigning the value here, you cannot create the object here. Now see, undefined. So what you do is create the, based on the user object, you create the A. You give the A's property, you add new property A's. It will take it. But the same A's property is not applicable to the new object, right? We have created a new object. For this new object, this A's property is not available. It will take from the this one only. From user, it will be object only reference to the user, not for the A, right? So you understand, right? Hello.
Yes, yes.
So you have the user object. You have created the new object based on user create new object. I create a new property yes, but this new property is not applicable for the new class new object. If you want to apply new property for all the created objects, then you use the prototype like user dot prototype. Okay. Prototype dot is okay 50. Then it will come to the all the sorry. What is around prototype that is equal to 50. Okay. Now see what is output. So cannot see there is a property, there is no property is right. We give the error. The action is not giving the error. Actually, this user object will take the new. For example, if I print the prototype, no. Something is wrong. Actually, if you use the prototype, you can read the new property. You can add the new property here. Okay. What is not taking here? What is giving? Okay. Prototype means you can add the new properties here. Why it's not taking? I don't know. For example, print here control dot log of user. Okay, let's see. Spelling sorry, I am spelling the wrong. Sorry, the prototype, right? Prototype. Okay, prototype. Now see. C50. You understand, right? Okay, you have the object already predefined object. Based on this object, you create the new object. Okay, if we add any new property using the prototype, it is applicable to the all existing objects, all child objects also. For example, I create like this. If I create like this, what happened? Undefined affair, right? If you understand, not. Let's see. Now I will explain clearly. I have a parent object user. Okay, let's explain. I will explain. User one. Now, if people understand clearly, I have the parent object user. Okay, I have a parent object user. Okay, based on that user, based on the user object, I create the two child users, two new users, user one, user two objects. Okay, based on the user object, I created the two new objects, user one, user two. Okay, now I want to add a new property is for this object, so I add it. I added, but this will not, this age property is not applicable for the this user one, user two. Okay, this one user one, user two. If you want to apply for the newly created change the objects also, then use the prototype. Then it will then this age property will comes to the newly created objects also automatically updated here. Okay. Now you people understand? We have an object based on the object reference. We create the child objects. If you add any new property, automatically that property will be available for the child newly created objects also when you use the prototype. Okay? Understand?
Yeah.
Understand, right? Using the prototype, not only will apply age property will apply coming to the this one. Okay. What are the callbacks? Callbacks are already explained. Callbacks are a function A. We have other function B. So if you pass the A, so we are passing the A function to the argument to the B function. Then A is a callback function. If you pass a function as an argument to other function, then that is a callback function. If you pass a function as an argument to other function, that is called a callback function. That is the callback. What is the DOM? DOM is the document object model. Okay, DOM, what is DOM? DOM is the document object model. Okay, DOM reference document object model. DOM, that means we have HTML. This not HTML, JavaScript considers an object and as an object. So for every element is an object. All the attributes are called as the properties. Okay. So DOM is the document object model. The HTML, the complete HTML is taken as the document object model. Okay, this is DOM. So up to these are the basic questions. Okay. Now we have advanced questions. I already told you this up to this point in the classes. What are the arrow functions? Arrow functions means we can write the arrow function like where A equal to so if you pass the A to 2 here, it will return the 12. So if you want the arrow function, you can use the parenthesis, arrow, and the statement. In a single line, we can write the arrow function. These are the arrows. These are the newly A6 features. Okay. What is the where let constant difference? What is the difference between the where let and constant? I already told you. Where and let both are the same. Both are used for the variable declarations. But when we declare a variable using the let in the scope level, in the block level, outside of that block we cannot use. Okay, that means we have the block here. Let x equal to we cannot use outside this block. Outside this block, it will give the error. Okay, but if you use the where in place of in the block level, we can access the variable outside the also. So that is the main difference between the where and let. Let is newly introduced in the yes. So what is the const? If we declare the variable const, we cannot change that value later. So if we change the value later, y is equal to 2, it gives the error. It gives the error. So that means we cannot change using the const keyword. We can define the variable only one thing. Later cannot change that value. This is the constant. The rest of the sped operator I already explained. So for example, I have a function. I want to call the n number of arguments. Like So here triple equality is the triple dots are the spread operator. Spread operator. Okay. Control dot log args. Okay. Now I pass the arguments 1, 3, 5, 7. So we can pass the n number of arguments to a function using the spread operator. The arguments which we are passing is coming as an array. See. So array. So we can pass a n number of arguments to a function using the spread operator. Okay? Or rest operator. Rest operator means if already there is a one variable initially, from the second argument, if you want the n number of arguments, then it is rest operator. Okay? And also we can use in the case of the arrays. For example, we have the array A equals A. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I said a B equal to A. Okay, we just push. So if we take we have an array, we can assign the type to new array, B array. If we add a new value to the B, A array also will be same. If we assign a value, if we assign a new value to the B array, A array will also change. So instead of that, if you use the rest operator, using the rest operator, we can reset we can add the new values, we can add you can reset there. So if you use like this, so here we are using the spread operator for adding the new value to the array, to new element to the array. Then it will change the only B array, it will not change the A array. For that only you are using the spread operator. So to assign the new values to the array or an object, we use the spread operator or rest operator. Okay. Up to these are the main topics. Okay. There is other topics. These main advanced topics. Those are promise, asynchronous, await classes. Okay.